Season 2 of Culinary Class Wars, episodes 8, 9, and 10 is very, very interesting. Each episode runs from an hour to an hour and a half long. These are very, very long episodes this season. And I will say, I didn't expect Season 2 to have so many crazy twists and turns. I really thought that it was going to be exactly like Season 1 up until episode 4, I will say that I was like, okay, they're keeping everything the same, the competitions and the ingredients, the judging, and no, I was very, very wrong, dead wrong. And that is what happened with episodes 8, 9, and 10. We finally get the result of the team battle, and spoiler alert, White Spoon chefs win, and all of the Black Spoon chefs are eliminated. Or so we think. The show just pulls another classic Culinary Wars twist, and this twist is interesting. All the Black Spoon chefs receive a black box and are thrown into a last box battle, which means that each chef gets one mystery ingredient they personally chose that they have to cook in 60 minutes. They must cook with only a total of 10 ingredients and minimal equipment. The ingredients range from beef tenderloin, eggs, asparagus, brown croaker, which is a fish, blue chanterelle mushrooms, dagger root pike conger, which is in the eel family, and dried pollock. And then, of course, there's one chef that really didn't show off their ingredient. They opened the box and they chose not to show it up, but basically on taste. We find out that it was revealed that that was sea pineapple. Each judge has to taste the dish, and then at the end of all the tastings, they pick the winner. Now, out of the 9 eliminated Black Spoon chefs, only 2 survive. Yes, if you can believe it, only 2 survive. After all the dishes are tasted, as I stated, the winners then move on to the round 4, which we saw at the beginning of the episode. You see the White Spoon chefs, they're celebrating, and it's like, oh, it's a mix of Black Spoon, White Spoon alliance battle. Like, wait a minute, what? Then it goes into showing you what happened with the Black Spoon chefs. Now comes round 4, battle of the top 7. The 12 White Spoon chefs, now it becomes 14 chefs because of the 2 eliminated Black Spoon chefs join the White Spoon chefs. The theme is 2-person teams. The 2 returning Black Spoon chefs choose their partner first. Then the remaining White Spoon chefs pair up. Each team has 2 hours to cook their best dish, and it's absolutely insane what they choose, but they have to have a harmonious synergy, a taste, and it has to be really very well done. The first place team automatically advances to the top 7, but the last place team is eliminated automatically, and you don't move forward. The remaining teams are then, the 5 remaining teams, are then sent back to cook again, while the 2 who won are sitting up top as part of the top 7. That leads to the most brutal round yet. One-on-one life or death battle. Yes, you heard that correctly. Each chef must now face their own teammate they were paired up with in the previous battle. They can only use the ingredients from the previous round, and they must share those ingredients and make different dishes or the same dishes and negotiate who gets what in those ingredients and who can use what. They have 100 minutes to cook. Once finished, the judges taste both dishes. If they agree, one chef advances. If they disagree and it's a tie, the judges then discuss once again, and then they decide a winner, and they decide who survives. High stakes? Absolutely. Everything is on the table in this, and episodes 8 through 10 really embrace what Culinary Class Wars does best. The twists, the tension, and the surprising eliminations. It's like the Black Spoon chefs thought like, oh, that's it, I'm done. And then when that one person wins, it's like, oh, okay, I have that courage again, I can do this. And then they're in the bottom again. The mind games, the physicality, the mentality of it, you can tell it's just draining. But I will say, these chefs are cooking phenomenal looking dishes where I would absolutely love to be the judges, just tasting and trying every single thing. I really, really do like how season 2 is. Like I stated at the beginning of my review in this video, I thought it was exactly like season 1. Nope, I was dead wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get even crazier. And I did pick one of my favorites to win the entire thing, and that's Brewmaster Yun. So I'm hoping she wins it all, and I feel like a woman is going to win this season. It's going to be interesting to see who faces who, what the final battle will be, what the final twists and turns are, because this is a 13 full episode season. And with the aspect of positive feedback that the show is getting and how many people watch Korean reality shows, and even cooking competitions are very popular, this show, I feel, will get a 3rd season. And the 3rd season could be the battle of the All-Stars. You never know. I'm just saying, you know. If they see this review and they hear that, get everyone back from season 1 and season 2. And then, you know, the good ones who people like and don't like. And then just pit them all against each other in season 3 and see who the top culinary winner is between Black Spoon and White Spoon chefs. It's great to see familiar faces returning as well, and then just the way it's done, the judging, the eliminations, and it's like, oof, like you can kind of tell who's going to get eliminated, but then not. You know, some say that the show is rigged. I don't see that, because if it is, then that's not fair. But from what it is and what's going on with season 2, it's been such a blast. So far, I'm really, really enjoying it more than season 1. And it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this season plays out. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about episodes 8, 9, and 10 of season 2 of Culinary Class Wars. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Your favorite team move on? Did your favorite chef move on? Or are you surprised that your favorite chef was eliminated? Who do you think should have won? Who don't you think should have won? And do you like the twists and turns? And do you like season 2 a little bit better than season 1 of Culinary Class Wars? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week to my season 2 review of Culinary Class Wars episodes 11 and 12.